Here in Sun City, there are plenty of ways of getting around. On the back of an elephant, safari truck, golf buggy, even horseback. But sometimes, the best way to see the place is from the air.
Okay, Roger, stand by, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, yeah! Ah-ha-ha! The fight for the title of World's Strongest Man continues in Sun City, South Africa, as 6 more giant men go head-to-head. The main draw in Heat 2 will be the battle between the best of the USA versus the pride of Britain, Terry Hollands. A tough task awaits Terry Hollands in round 2, not least in the shape of 2008 runner-up Derek Poundstone. Zoe Salmon is at the first event, and she's caught up with Big Tell.
Thank you, Martin, and welcome to the Giant Farmers Walk. And who better to explain to us the drama that awaits us than Giant himself, Terry Hollands. Hi, Terry.
Hello.
Talk us through what you'll be doing.
Basically, we'll be picking up both the farmers' walks, running to the other end, cross the line, run back as fast as possible.
You make it sound so easy, but they're 160 kilograms each.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really tough. It's a really heavy weight. It's an event I'm normally good at. Last year, I had a bit of a disaster on it, but it'll be really, really tough. The heat's going to play a factor as well, and I'm sure we'll see a few guys struggling.
Well, hopefully not you. Well, good luck, Terry.
Thank you very much.
It certainly is going to be fascinating. A 75-second time limit to carry these 2 massive weights, 350 pounds each. And they've got to go 40 metres, 2 laps of the track.
In lane 1, from South Africa, Henny Jordan.
A new name to World's Strongest Man, Henny Jordan of South Africa. Massive man at 320 pounds.
Italy, Alex Coletto.
And Alex Coletto, another first-timer, Italy's pride and joy.
From Poland, Robert Szczepanski.
Robert Szczepanski of Poland, trying to follow in the footsteps of the 5-time champion, the incredible Mariusz Pudzianowski. Well, a nervous moment for all of these guys, I'm sure. But they've got to try and get this first event absolutely right to get off to a good start. Jordan on the far side, away to a slow start. Look at this. This guy's absolutely flying.
Well, he's famed for being very quick at all the events. A little like Pudzianowski himself. He's all the way over with ease.
Szczepanski slowing down a little bit. Coletto there, yet to finish his first lap. And Henny Jordan, well, no sign of him. The South African is really struggling. Hasn't even got it off the start line. But that is a great, great start for Robert Szczepanski of Poland. 27.9 seconds. Wow. The South African, well, he had a problem right at the start. Alex Coletto halfway down that second lap. But what a start by the pole. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, and one of the problems here now is once they go down, they're hard to pick up again. Great time by Szczepanski, under 30 seconds. That'll be hard to beat by the others.
Coletto there, only 27.2 metres. If you don't finish the course, the distance carried is measured. And Henny Jordan, well, whatever happened to the South African? Only 1.7 his score.
Szczepanski drove through this so quickly. Up and away, never dropped them once. Great performance.
In lane 1, from Norway, Richard Skog.
Richard Skog of Norway. His 4th World's Strongest Man appearance. He's a man of huge strength.
In lane 2, from England, Terry Hollands.
Terry Hollands. He got on the podium in 3rd place back in 2007 in the final.
From the USA, Derek Poundstone.
The amazing American, the policeman, Derek Poundstone. Silver medalist in 2008 in the final. So this really is a loaded heat.
Take your grip!
But a great chance for the Englishman, Terry Hollands, to make his mark on this competition. Derek Poundstone there, just taking his time, and away we go. It's the American who's off to the quickest start, along with Terry Hollands, who's coming through like a train.
Well, Hollands is very quick at this kind of event. Former rugby player, he's quick on his feet. It's worth noting Poundstone's got a lot of strapping on his left leg, I think he's had some kind of muscle pull a few weeks ago, and that's hindering him a little bit.
And Terry Hollands is flying. It's a cracking time. Maximum points for England in the first event. The arm goes aloft, the victory salute. He knows he's done it. And amazingly, Derek Poundstone struggling. And this American, who really came here as one of the favourites, not just for the heat, but for the final as well. I think actually somebody just threw some chalk out there to help him with his grip. He's been looking at his hands a lot.
Well, one of the problems, if you don't go quick enough in this event, if you've got that sore, painful thigh, then your hands start to give way. Your grip's your weakest factor here, and you're going to tear skin.
The Norwegian on the far side, struggling as well. He just can't get those huge weights up. And also the American there, Derek Poundstone, still looking at that right hand. I don't know if he's done some damage, but no doubt about the winner, Terry Hollands. There you go, 4th place for Richard Skog, 32.9 metres. They weren't kidding, were they? The giant farmer's walk. 36.2 for Derek. He'll be disappointed with that. Oh, my goodness. The calluses have been totally torn off his hand. But Terry Hollands, a dominant winner. That was superb.
Just so fast, Hollands. Didn't waste any time getting him off the ground. And then laden or unladen, he's about the same speed. He's quick.
Congratulations, Terry. You absolutely walked the farmer's walk there. Well done. The other two not even finishing there. Now, what physical attributes do you think you have that makes you be able to put in a performance like that?
I mean, good grip's obviously a big help. Fast feet as well. I mean, believe it or not, as big as I am, I can actually move pretty well. So I know Derek and Richard both tore their calluses like I did last year, and it's not a fun thing to do. But I think fast feet, good grip, and obviously having the strength to be able to stabilise the weight because they're so big. But no, I'm happy with that, really happy.
Not a great surprise to see Terry Hollands top of the pile after the Farmer's Walk. It's one of his favourite events. The big news from Heat 1, though, is Derek Poundstone's failure to complete the course. How much will those torn calluses affect him? Find out after the break as he faces the power stairs and one of our heaviest deadlifts ever. Welcome back to South Africa and Heat 2 of this year's World's Strongest Man, where England's Terry Hollands has made a barnstorming start to his campaign in the giant Farmer's Walk. Next up, though, is an event which might not suit the big man from Kent. It's the energy-sapping power stairs.
And the arena, that is where it's all going to happen. The power stairs is a mighty event. And certainly the lack of oxygen at 1,000 metres above sea level may have an impact. Time limit again, 75 seconds. The weight, 225 kilos up 12 steps, as fast as you can. Well, there you go.
From
There's
England,
Terry Hollands
Terry
wearing
Hollands.
gloves. Most sensible. Leading after the first event. Just the greatest of starts for the
From
Englishman.
the USA, Derek
And Derek
Poundstone.
Poundstone, he's got not only gloves on, but they're heavily wrapped as well. Wonder how much damage he did to that right hand
Take your grip.
after that first event.
Ready?
Here we go. Well, a little bit of doubt about how Terry Hollands would get on here, but he's got away to a cracking start.
He's ripping this up in one movement. We'll find out just how fit he is in a minute, because that is very tiring. As for Poundstone, it's mind over matter. The pain in his hands, they are in a bad shape.
Well, in the past, we've been used to seeing Derek Poundstone dominate his opposition, but he's certainly not doing that here today. Terry Hollands running out of steam a little bit, but you can't blame him for that. The rarefied atmosphere of Sun City and these 12 steps and a weight that is knocking on the door of 500 pounds. Being lifted, 12 times? Come on now, Terry. He's got to get it over that white line for the clock to stop, and he's done it. Now, could that be victory number 2? And Derek Poundstone, well, we saw him struggle in the Farmer's Walk, and he's doing exactly the same here.
Well, Poundstone, he has but a few seconds left here. Maybe one more step's possible. No, it's his hands. He's really done a number on them in the opening event, the Giant Farmer's Walk.
Terry Hollands, though, the current leader, 48.52. Tough to beat? I think so. Derek Poundstone, only 9 steps And the American is going to be very, very disappointed. Look at that, thumbs down.
Well, Terry Hollands in the beginning flew it up with one movement, started to tire at the end, but Big Hollands is in the lead and in the driving seat.
Oh, congratulations for getting up there. It's really not an easy event. I mean, you watch someone as strong as Poundstone not even being able to get to the top. I mean, it must make you feel even better about achieving it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. I was worried just before I wouldn't finish it, to be honest. It's a really tough event, especially the last 3 or 4 steps. It's just a real absolute killer, and I think the 9th step's quite a lot higher than some of the others, and it really does take it out. Yeah, it's a really tiring event.
It's not just about that 225 kilogram weight. It's, you know, the heart, the lungs, the cardiovascular, getting you up all those steps to the top.
Yeah, I mean, usually I get out of breath just walking up a set of stairs like that, let alone carrying something up there. So, no, it's really tiring and really tough event.
Do you think it's going to be one of the toughest you'll face in the group?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to be honest, at the high altitude and in the heat, I think this will probably be the toughest event we do. But, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that.
Well, certainly none of these events are easy, and that was certainly the case when this guy took to the stage. Henny Jourdain, he only managed 5. Next to him was Alex Coletta of Italy. He managed 1 more, he got 6, and that made Derek Poundstone's total looking quite respectable.
Robert Szczepanski.
Next up, Robert Szczepanski of Poland. I thought he looked very, very good in the Farmer's Walk, where he came second to Terry Hollands.
In lane 2 from Norway.
He's up against Richard Skog of Norway, the former Norwegian Special Forces. Very tough man, very gritty, full of determination. What a time, though, that's been set by Terry Hollands, 48.52. I think this will prove that not only do you have to be very, very strong, you've got to be very fit as well. And certainly the training these guys do, Colin, well, it can't really prepare you for an event like this, but these guys are fit, even despite their size, not because of it.
Well, the Polish competitor is extremely fit and he loves power stairs. But what Richard Skog does have is he's got 5 inches in height on the pole. I wonder whether he can use that in the latter stages as they start to tire.
Well, Szczepanski is going well. Look at that. What, 1, 2, 3 steps, 4 steps ahead of the Norwegian now. And Robert Szczepanski, I think, is a very impressive competitor, but what an act he's got to follow in Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Well, if you remember back to 2000, that was when Pudzianowski first came on the scene here in Sun City 10 years ago, and he destroyed everyone in this event. Not quite so glorious for Szczepanski's debut, but he's doing a lot better than Skog.
He's not happy with himself, the Norwegian. He's only completed 4 stairs altogether. And, of course, Terry Hollands, the only man so far to have done all 12. There's 11 on the table for Szczepanski. Really struggling to get the last one. He's running out of time. Oh, he can't quite get it. He was only about an inch short there. But nevertheless, another good score for the Polish champion.
A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for these 2 athletes. Come on!
There you go, 11 steps, 75-second time limit reached. Good scoring once again. And Richard Skog, absolutely gutted, I think, with that performance. Yep, you saw it there.
Another event, another victory for the Englishman. Terry Hollands belying that bulk and putting in a really good time. Another below-par performance from the American Derek Poundstone, though. Hollands leads the 2008 runner-up by 4 points already, and at the moment it's the Pole Robert Szczepanski who occupies that second qualifying position. Poundstone, though, is not to be underestimated.
The sport of strongman, I didn't choose this sport. I mean, this sport chose me. I just tried it out. I saw on TV and I tried it, and I just won every event as an amateur. Got my pro card, and I just started, kicking butt and taking names. Well, in 2008, I came extremely close to winning the title, World's Strongest Man, and I did let the stone falling get to me a little bit. I think my biggest motivation is I want to win the title, World's Strongest Man. I've won every title in the world. I've beat every athlete before. There's no reason why I can't beat him here. I've got to win the title at some point. I mean, it's just bound to happen. I'm dying to see how it turns out. I mean, I wish I could just sort of have a time machine and look ahead, because it's going to be a long, interesting road.
It certainly is going to be a very interesting journey for Derek Poundstone. As you heard, he's won just about everything, but this is the title he wants, and he wants to get it in front of the most extraordinary scenery in southern Africa, Sun City. And a real chance here with the deadlift. The greatest weight that we've ever seen in a heat of World's Strongest Man, 345 kilos, and you've got to lift it in the time limit as many times as possible. So big chance for Derek Poundstone and the rest. Well, here we go. Henny Jourdain of South Africa. No lifts at all, unfortunately, and that was in front of his home crowd. Left bloodied and battered. It was a real baptism of fire for Jourdain in World's Strongest Man. Robert Szczepanski, the very impressive Pole, was up next in second place behind Terry Hollands at the moment. We heard he had an injury problem. We weren't sure about that, but he too scored 0. Bad news for Poland. Then it was Richard Skog. He burst on the scene a few years ago, and we thought this might be a World's Strongest Man contender, but he wasn't going too well here in Sun City. Well, a chance now for Alex Coletto of Italy, lying in 4th place after the first 2 events, but a real opportunity here. He's just got to lift 1, and he's guaranteed to score a few points.
Alex,
those lifting straps so important to reinforce the grip.
Are you ready, Alex?
And then we have the rocks there, 345 kilos. That's an absolutely immense weight. Well above 700 pounds in total.
Down.
And there you go. He's in the lead already, Colin.
Lift.
Well, he's got a very strong back. He's done quite a bit of powerlifting, so this kind of event really suits him. He's a very thick-set man. The running event's not so good at. There you go, 3 already. This is a good total so far.
Certainly is.
Down.
Especially when you consider there have been some very strong men who've gone previously and haven't even scored 1 lift. And of course, a reminder, those guys will get 0 points. And that is significant in terms of the overall points total.
Come on.
Coletto has certainly got time left.
1 more.
Just readjusting his grip slightly there. And again, another event where grip is so important.
I was just trying to gather his thoughts here. Rarely do you see someone pull another one after a rest like that. And in fact, he's come up there and realised it's just not going to happen. It's not worth the energy. So 4 reps for Coletto.
Not bad, though. He's in the lead. He's the guy that everybody else has to chase.
But if you look at some of the early reps there, he was really pulling fast, but just hit the wall on rep number 4. Number 5, a couple inches off the ground is all he could do.
From England, Terry Hollands.
Terry Hollands, England's finest. Leader after 2 events where he, of course, he scored maximum points. Really must fancy his chances in this event. Another man who's very, very tall, but somehow manages, with incredibly long arms, to lift these weights relatively easy. Now, sometimes you associate deadlifting with very short squat guys, but this guy is phenomenally strong, as you would expect.
Ready and lift.
Oh, up it goes with ease.
Lift.
I was a bit worried about this event because, of course, if you look at his right arm, his bicep all strapped up. Where he tore it off the bone just a few months ago. It's been an incredible recovery for Terry Hollands. 4 done. Needs to get 1 more to take the lead.
And lift in your own time.
Now, is he going to fancy his chances? No, that is economy of effort. He's guaranteed at least 2nd place. We've got 1 more competitor to come. But at the moment, Terry Hollands in pole position.
But his last rep was as good as his first. I wonder whether he was worth double figures there. If he makes the final, we'll find out.
From the USA, Derek Poundstone.
A chance for America's best man, Derek Poundstone, to really begin to make his mark on this competition. Despite the problems he's had over the first couple of events, he seems relaxed. The hands covered in chalk as Terry looks on.
Let's go. Okay, you
Those
ready,
straps are going onto the lifting bar to make sure the grip is absolutely perfect. Still got his gloves on there, still protecting that right hand. Away we go.
Down.
Just eases it off the ground.
Down.
After a couple of reps, the pain will go in the hands.
Down. Lift.
This is good now.
Down.
He's got to go for the victory. He needs at least 6 reps.
Down.
And all the effort here being put in by the legs and the back. He's drawn level with Terry Hollands at the moment. This for victory in event number 3. He's got it. He doesn't need to take any more. He's won it. At last, the American tastes victory. Well done. 6 repetitions the total.
And he's pointing at his leg as well. He's saying, look, hey, come on, no more. My leg hurts, my hand hurts. Give me a break. I've done enough to win. He's not going to do any more for showboating.
Congratulations there, Derek. You appear to be having a bit of a chess match with Hollands.
Well, you know, we're both very good deadlifters, so it would have been quite a battle. So he's still several points ahead of me, so there's no point. We both had significant injuries in the last couple months, so there's no point in tearing ourselves apart trying to, you know, see who's tougher and try to win every event. So I've never seen him in such good shape, so I'm still kind of recovering from my injuries. This is right where I want to be. I want to just sort of pick up steam and hopefully make it to the final, and that's where I'll be 110% right now. I'm still not quite there.
You are nursing an injury at the moment. You've just touched on that. It's a quad injury, isn't it? How is that affecting your performance so far?
It's been affecting it pretty badly. It affected a little bit of my speed on some of the earlier events, but not just that. I haven't been able to train for a month. I tore it about a month ago, so I haven't been able to do any of this stuff. So I'm just kind of coming in here, just training like a bodybuilder, benching and overhead pressing and curling. So, but now I'm getting sort of acclimated to the events a little bit better, and it's been a battle. This has probably been one of the hardest fought battles so far. I've questioned why I'm here at some points, but now I feel a little better.
A very efficient performance from Derek Poundstone gives him his first victory in this heat. Terry Hollands also looked very relaxed for his 5 reps as he guarantees second. Big Tail still leads the way, but the cop from Connecticut has leapfrogged Robert Szczepanski. The news doesn't sound good for the Pole, who suffered a shoulder injury during that deadlift. Well, life is looking pretty good for Terry Hollands at the moment, but things could get very tough for him and the other athletes after the break as they face the battle of wills with the Africa Stone. Welcome back to the majestic setting of Sun City, South Africa, and the second qualifying heat of World's Strongest Man 2010. We got underway with an immense giant farmer's walk where Pole Robert Szczepanski strolled into second place before England's Terry Hollands stole the show. The Englishman was also in form in the power stairs, securing maximum points once more. An efficient second place followed in the deadlift, before American Derek Poundstone finally hit form. All that means that Hollands and Poundstone are sitting pretty in the 2 qualifying positions at the halfway stage. Next up, it's the Africa Stone. And here's Zoe with the details.
Thank you, Martin. Yes, indeed, this is the dreaded Africa Stone. We are about to see one of the oldest tests of strength around. The rules are brutally simple. Our athletes must pick up the 175 kilogram stone and carry it as far as possible down the course. You see, it sounds simple. Well, here to put us straight on that is 3 times World's Strongest Man, Mr. Bill Kazmar. Bill, why is this one of the toughest events at this year's competition?
Well, simply because it's heavy. Heavier than Terry Hollands. Think of picking up Terry Hollands and carrying him down the course. There are no handles on this, virtually none. If the athlete can get it stood up and then lifted to his chest and secured, maybe not so high that it cuts off his breathing, and get his feet moving down this 25-meter course, it's going to attack his entire body. First his legs, his hips, his calves, his ankles, all through his lower extremities. But it's the heart pounding and pumping, and the breath that's going to be taken away. It's a brutal event.
So it's all about hugging that stone, locking in the fingers, and just going for it. Well, good luck to our athletes.
They're certainly going to need it. There we have it, 175 kilos, and wow, it is going to be so much harder having to pick it up off the ground. That's going to make it tough for everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, from South Africa, Henny Jordan.
Well, Henny Jordan really has to produce something here. He's way down in 6th place.
Time starts now.
And this will give us some idea of what lies in wait for all of our strongmen. 175 kilos, that's just short of 400 pounds. And that is about the best place, Colin, to carry it, and he's got his fingers clasped as well. So not a bad start for the South African.
Yeah, vitally he's got his fingers locked. He didn't waste too much time picking it up, so he's still fairly fresh here as he comes to 25 metres and turns. The turns can take a lot out of you. If you can get to the 50-metre mark and turn again, that would be very good, I think.
He's bleeding from the nose, just as he did at the end of the last event, and his legs almost giving way here. And that is around the 44-metre mark as he wipes the blood off his nose. So Henny Jourdain of South Africa, 44.3 given by the judges.
Well, Jourdain for the first 25 metres looked pretty solid. He was carrying it quite high, though, and I think the oxygen was just leaving his body and being replaced with the dreaded lactic acid.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the USA, Derek Poundstone.
Well, Derek Poundstone must be absolutely bouncing after that last event where he secured maximum points.
Time starts now.
Here we go. He won't be trying to rush this part of the event. He'll want a secure grip on that giant effigy of one of the greatest continents in the world. Not clasping his fingers this time, but just one hand over the other. And it's very difficult to actually see where you're going here. And you can see how narrow the course is. But he's negotiated the first lap okay.
You know what, he's not wasting any time here, Derek. He's got it up and now he's running just as fast as you possibly could with such a heavy weight. He knows there's only a limited amount of time before he will exhaust at the 50-metre mark, so in the lead now.
Yeah, he's completed 2 laps of 25 metres. Coming up towards 60 now, going pretty well, the American. Now, if you do start to lose your grip, it's so much more difficult to recover. And that is just below 65 metres for Derek Poundstone. But he is in the lead. 63.4 the judges have given him. Not bad at all.
Well, something I noticed there was how difficult it looked just to grip and hold, especially at the start. You know what, this is going to be hard for Terry Hollands, who has that bicep problem.
Well done, Derek. 63.4. Did you have a distance in mind before you started?
I was fairly confident I'd get 75. That's just normally a very good event for me. I've beat all the guys here in prior competitions, but I normally train with the regular Husafell, a larger stone. It's a little more difficult. The particularly interesting about this thing is it's all about how you get your arms around it and how you get your hands locked. With torn calluses, I end up grabbing my own callus and it starts to rip open, so you're bleeding onto your hand as you're trying to grip it towards the end, and once your grip goes, it makes it almost impossible to keep walking. So, very difficult event.
It certainly was very difficult indeed for Alex Coletto. 29.9 metres for the Italian. The next competitor, though, suffered badly. Robert Szczepanski of Poland, injured after the deadlift. He was injured here too. So after a promising start, won't be following in the footsteps of the great Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Ladies and gentlemen, from England, Terry Hollands.
Well, it's been a pretty good record by Terry Hollands so far. 1-2 and second place on the last event. That's what lies in weight. Very, very tall. If he can get it high on his chest, Colin, he's going to have a real advantage over everybody else. But look at this. He's struggling. Well, he's struggling even to get it off the ground.
It's that right arm. I mean, it's a medical miracle that the man is actually here competing. But this was the event he really wasn't looking forward to. Can't lock his fingers. He just was starting to run out of energy there, and he knows he's got to go now. So rather than waste time, Hollands is going to attack it, but he just doesn't have a grip here.
Well, he certainly is sitting pretty at the top of the table at the moment. Now closing in on Alex Coletto, goes past the Italian. I wonder how much past Alex Coletto he can go. Oh, that crashes down. I wonder how much damage he has done. He's looking at his arm. He must be thinking, oh my goodness, what has happened? 36.3 metres in third place, but there's still some strong contenders to come.
Well, at the start there, he just didn't have the power or perhaps the confidence to rip it off the ground and catch it in his arms. No grip, no distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Skog.
Richard Skog there in fifth place. So this would be an ideal moment to make a move and produce a good performance, just so he moves up the leaderboard a little bit, moving into the second half of the competition. Skog of Norway, gritty, not afraid of pain. Look at that, carrying it high, looking good.
Well, he's moving very quickly here. Richard, as we said, a former soldier. He's used to carrying heavy backpacks, though nothing quite as heavy and hard as this. But he's a tough character, Skog. He's not going to give up easily. 50 metres already, looking solid.
He's looking superb at the moment, but how long can he keep going? Look at this, Sven Carlsen, former world's strongest man, shouting for his countrymen. He goes into the lead now. Oh, superb. It's enough. Richard Skog has scored his first big points of the competition. He's won it, 67.4 metres.
Well, he knew he had to do something special here. He was so angry at himself after the power stairs and the deadlift. He dug in and got a great score.
Welcome to the party, Richard Skog. What a performance from the Norwegian, beating Derek Poundstone by a full 4 metres. Terry Hollands, a disappointing 4th. Szczepanski's withdrawal has made things a bit simpler for the top 2, but if Richard Skog continues his current form, then we could be in for an interesting climax to Heat 2.
Next up, it's the metal block press, and this is going to fascinate the audience here in Monkey Square. There are 4 weights altogether, ranging from 110 kilos to a world record-breaking 150. 90 seconds to complete all 4. As far as Henny Jordan of South Africa was concerned, 52.6 seconds to lift 2 blocks. The same number of blocks that Alex Coletta lifted, but he was faster.
Richard Skog.
Well, Richard Skog, of course, coming off the back of that victory in the last event. Got to fancy his chances here to make a move on the leaders. And of course, it's still England's Terry Hollands that is leading, but only by a single point from Derek Poundstone.
Nice efficient technique there. Gets it to his knees. He's obviously trained on something similar before. And presses nicely there, Skog. You've only got to hold it for a split second at the top. The balance is so awkward.
Well, I have to say, this is another good performance by Skog of Norway, but a little slip up there. And that could cost him £286, 130 kilos. But here's the news flash. That last lift was not given to him. He didn't lock his arms out. And that is a real blow to Richard. Must have thought he was on track here for a good performance. Gets it at the second time of asking. Now, come on. He wants a bit of support here. Colin, this would be a world record if he gets it. Can he do it?
Well, one of the things about this is it's so wide, but Richard is so wide himself, so he's got the frame to do this. Wasting energy on 130 won't have helped, though.
Oh, wow. 330 pounds, this one. Derek Poundstone, the world record holder at 145. And Richard could not get it, but what a gutsy performance. But that second attempt on the third stone did cost him 3 blocks, but the time poor, 45.29.
Well, Skog wasting energy on that 130. Shame he didn't lock it out first time. He might have had a good go at 150 then.
From the USA, Derek Poundstone.
Mr. Muscles, Derek Poundstone of the United States. Now then, the damage to his hand, the damage to his legs in some of the previous events, is that going to cost him? Don't forget, he is the world record holder here. But the stone, a little bit further along the right-hand side there, 150 kilos. He's never done that before.
Well, he did the 145 in Scotland, and he did it with relative ease, so he's been looking forward to a crack at 150 for a while now.
Oh, that is immensely strong. Now, can he do 150? He's in the lead at the moment. That was certainly a very quick time for 3 stones. He's never done this before. Just taking his time. A little bit fatigued from those first 3. He's got to get his hands underneath. Oh, my goodness, it's close. Mind your head. Oh.
Well, I wonder whether it's worth giving it another crack. He'll be a little bit tired here, but 90 seconds you're allowed. No, he's had enough. He's off. 3 blocks in 22 seconds. That's going to be hard to beat.
Very hard indeed.
Look at this on the 130. That went up so easy. I thought he'd have had the 150. I think the balance was just wrong.
Terry Hollands getting ready for his attempt. But just before he came here, he had a bad injury to his arm. We wonder how much effect that has had on the Englishman.
Yeah, I was having a fantastic year this year. I did 14 international competitions and I was top 3 in every one. It was 11 and a half weeks ago I had torn my bicep. It was quite a weird sensation when I actually did the injury because I was so fired up going into the Stones. That was the event I did it on. I just felt an almighty pop and heard it in my right arm, and it didn't really hurt so much because I was so fired up to do the Stones, I didn't feel any pain at all. And it wasn't until I looked at my arm and saw that my bicep muscle had retracted right back up my arm that I realised something was seriously wrong. The injury's not going to set me back. I feel hungrier than ever, 100%. I mean, I'm 31 years old now. I still believe I've got another 4 or 5 years left in me of being competitive. I still feel I'm the man to win World's Strongest Man for Britain.
From England, Terry.
Well, as Terry Hollands waits for his attempt here, certainly his ambition is clear. But prior to Terry Hollands, we've had some brilliant British competitors in World's Strongest Man. Geoff Capes, always a contender. He won the title twice. Jamie Reeves, the former champion, as was Welshman Gary Taylor. Terry Hollands on the podium in 2007. So here we go. It's got to be a quick time here. We saw what Derek Poundstone achieved. What was it? 3 stones in just over 22 seconds. That's phenomenal, Colin.
Yeah, Poundstone, I think, is going to be almost unbeatable at this. Hollands going a little bit slower, a little bit steadier. I think he'll want to do 3 in a good time. Just get some solid points.
I don't like the way he's sort of resting it on his chin, just as he gets it up to shoulder level, but he knows best. Now, how easy is this 130 going to be? Derek Poundstone made it absolutely shooter.
Well, this isn't exactly a health and safety dream, this, is it? Strong man, pressing weights overhead. Can Hollands get this? Yes, he can. Just held it long enough. And he's got time to give the 150 a crack. Maybe his slow technique might work. Poundstone looking a bit pensive.
Well, he might well do, because if Terry could get this, he's going to win it now. I think he just made Derek Poundstone sweat a little bit. The writing was on the wall, wasn't it? 44.8, though, for 3 blocks. Good effort.
Another USA-Britain 1-2. Derek Poundstone so close to beating his own world record. Another fine performance from Richard Skog is only good enough for 3rd. Poundstone and Hollands will be able to continue their fight in the final. They qualify with 1 event to go. The big question now is who earns the bragging rights of victory in round 2. It's been quite a show from this pair up to now. Join us after the break as we try to separate them. Welcome back to World's Strongest Man 2010, where the loading race will determine the winner of Heat 2. Zoe Salmon is with Terry Hollands.
Well, Terry, you are, of course, safely through to the final. So what's the plan with this event? Is it to use it as a bit of a practice for the final, or are you going to preserve some energy?
Hopefully a bit of both, to be honest. I'm going to just see how it goes when I go out there. Definitely load a few, but whether I'll push it all the way to the limit and load all 4, I'll decide when I'm out there. But, yeah, it's a good practice run, and obviously I don't want to just put one up and just walk away, so... yeah, it should be fun. I'll just give it a go and see what happens when I get out there.
Absolutely. It's great that you can really just sit back, relax, and, as you say, have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a good position to be in going into the last event, knowing that I haven't really got to do the last event. It's brilliant. So, yeah, I can just take it as a training run and have some fun with it.
Good luck, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Derek Poundstone, of course, in exactly the same position. And there we have the rules. 110 kilos for each of the 4 barrels. The fastest time will win. The time limit, 75 seconds, as always. There we have the score so far. Richard Skog of Norway finishing off with 4 barrels, 48.26. He's in the lead, ahead of Coletto and Henny Jordan of South Africa. So just 2 athletes remaining now.
Terry Hollands.
The big 2. Terry Hollands, co-leader. So as you heard, he doesn't really have to try, but this one is for pride. It'd be nice to be the victor in this heat leading into the final. Who do you fancy, Colin?
Well, I have to say it's who wants it most, and neither of them really need it. So, well, Hollands is just skipping away here, so maybe he fancies giving Poundstone a little lesson here. There's quite a rivalry between these two, it has to be said. The number one American, the number one Brit, neither wants to give away anything.
Well, running through sand does not make it easy. Terry Hollands, of course, is a former rugby player, very mobile across a flat surface, but this is hard work.
Yeah, but he's got those size 17 feet. That almost flattens out over the sand, doesn't it?
Well, at the moment, he can pretty much walk on water, I think. Derek Poundstone is not giving up, though. I tell you what, he's within shouting distance. Terry is just slowing down a little bit, and Derek Poundstone gets that third barrel on a little bit quicker. So come on, boys, let's put on a show.
Yeah, a little wry smile there from Poundstone when he saw Hollands slip. He knows he's just ahead of Hollands now. Oh, little sprint from Hollands. This is going to be interesting.
Good stuff. What a way to finish. Now, who's going to get it upright? Come on, Terry, he says. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3. Very sportsmanlike, trying to finish off together, but I think Derek Poundstone just got it ahead of Terry. 1:11.16 for Terry Hollands. Oh, there you go. 1:10.63. He's the winner of this event, and he's the winner of this heat.
Poundstone saying just how hard that was. I don't think he expected it to be so difficult. Terry Hollands, though, that bad arm didn't make it easy for him in the end.
Guys, you probably both had your own plans going into that, but I think your competitive instincts took over at the end, and it was certainly fun to watch. What were you doing there?
Yeah, well, we said about being about the same time on the third and then just go for it, but it was a lot tougher than I expected, and to be honest, I was quite lucky I didn't have to go for it because I was really struggling with the last one.
And what about you, Derek?
Yeah, we're both through the final, so we just want to have some fun. It's the crowd here is always great, and I want to work on my conditioning a little bit, and I was surprised by the big guy's conditioning. He was pushing the whole time. I was very surprised. I thought I was going to do 4, and the time it took him to do 3, and when he was ahead of me the whole time, that was impressive.
You just pipped him to the post there in the end, but how tough was it?
It was a lot tougher than I expected. The sand is, I've done sand before, but this sand is very, very light, so you sink in quite a bit. Just running back and forth to grab the kegs is hard, let alone running with the kegs in your hand. So it was difficult.
Well done to both of you, and of course, to both of you, good luck in the final.
Thank you.
Richard Skog wins another event, but all eyes were on the battle of the top two. In the end, just half a second separated them, but it's the American who comes out on top. Derek Poundstone wins Group 2 by a single point from Terry Hollands, who must settle for second place. Both men know that the real battle starts now. Two outstanding performances there from Terry Hollands and Derek Poundstone. The Connecticut man has now made the final in all 3 of his World's Strongest Man appearances. Can he go one better than that runners-up spot of 2008? Next up, it's Heat 3, where England's Darren Sadler will face stiff competition from Travis Ortmeyer from the States and a whole host of tough Eastern Europeans. Until then, from all of us here in Sun City, goodbye.